Okay, it's day 117. This is part 3, and Capitol on a little bit of a minor lockdown. I think this is what they call a photo shoot lockdown. They just want the, kind of their version of Photoshop to put their group in there. I don't really think there's an issue. But what we have really is kind of an interesting two worlds, like a world over here, which is kind of more this Hollywood kind of set, and then the real world over here. The real world over here, and I was talking to Task Force of how this is kind of a fight between labor on the defense and defense, labor and defense, labor and defense. It's really a small group within labor, which is SEIU, and it's a small group within defense, which is kind of the Senate Armed Self-Services Committee. And you see some of our Capitol Police. Hey, it'd be great to get that report, guys, about the couple of intrusions and burglaries here up on Capitol Hill. As long as we're going to look into the Russians coming into our election, how about the 2 burglaries that happened inside the building? And the Ethics Committee, Task Force has put in an ethics investigation saying, hey, we have this political beating, which kind of followed a couple of other interesting motivated beatings in California at the state level. Now we've kind of got it at the federal level, and we'd like to have an ethics investigation of how are we addressing this. Are these politically motivated things reprisals against people who are saying, hey, there's corruption in the police and at the government level that are trying to put down people who want to get information about police reports. We're not investigating the beatings there. We're not following up with the district attorneys. We're not trying to connect the dots to political operatives who may be using the police for that. But what we are doing is having scrums for the dreamers, which are, are refusing a pretty good bipartisan plan for 3 million people to become citizens. So it's just interesting. Kind of an interesting, get on this side, kind of comes to this kind of Tinseltown, Washington, and that side is a totally different reality. So anyway, having said all that, I do want to say I want to thank our Capitol Police for the job they do. I just think, again, it's the group at the top that are doing this kind of holding down information, and also this group at the top doing these reprisals. We just had a report come out by the Inspector General today for the intelligence community, where there was 190 cases that had been squashed. There was a report that the IG came out with and said there was reprisals against 190 whistleblowers, and that had been squashed. And again, no mention of it during the Intel Committee. My first thing I would have said is, hey, we had a report come out about the whistleblowers. How did that turn out? That would have been my first question, because there's 190 lives there that are being destroyed. But we have 190 dreamers over here on the Capitol steps. We can't get to the Capitol, but the dreamers can for their photo shoot.